Well, happy prep day. Happy Friday. I have had quite the day. I was up early, got my watering done, then ran over to my daughter's to watch the two little boys, Obi and Teddy. And she went out and had some things to take care of this morning and then went straight from there to a friend's house. This place is amazing. My friend Bettina, she contacted me last week, and St. John's wort is in bloom, and she wanted to know if I wanted to come harvest some. I was like, absolutely. She lives on an old homestead that the house was originally built in the 1800s. Her family bought it in the early 1900s. Big, huge oak trees, sycamore trees, magnolia tree, garden, like goals. Oh my gosh, it was just amazing. Amazing, amazing. And she is just the sweetest, most wonderful, generous person. So what an absolute blessing. So I harvested some St. John's wort, also some milk thistle, and ran home, grabbed some lunch real quick. So I'm a bit of a mess, but I am what I am. So this week we are reading from Genesis 36, 1 through 40, through the end of 40. And I'm reading from the Scripture 2009 version, and it's the ISR version, ISR translation. And that's what's up here. And it looks like it's going to be a real fun one because it's got lots of names. So, Father God, thank you. Thank you for your word. Thank you for answering my prayer and giving me a love, a passion, a hunger, and a thirst for your word, and for the opportunity to share that with others, Father. I pray over all the technology that you have everything run smoothly, and that I'm able to share your word, your will, your way only. To you all be all the glory. In Yeshua's mighty name. Amen. All right, so let's get started here. I'm just getting used to this. I know that there's a way to do it, but I've not figured it out yet. What is all this? Yeah, it's like all these little buttons. Oh, what did I do? Oh my, what did I do? Oh, okay, so that jumped to, no, didn't want to do that. Let's go back to Genesis 35. There we go. No, 36. There we go. I know there's a way to highlight it without me having to do it manually, but I haven't figured it out yet. So just a little bit of commentary. Genesis 36, Jacob's sons, Esau, sons, Isaac's death. So from Bethel to Bethlehem is not far. The one, the house of Yah, the other, the house of bread. We need them both if we are to bear up under the repeated shocks of life, such as death of an old nurse, the old nurse Deborah, the death of our beloved Rachel, the sins of our children, the breakup of the old home, as when our father is born to his grave. Well, was it for Jacob that he had got right with Yah before these repeated waves broke upon him. Isaac had not lived a great life, but his full years gave him a claim of the veneration of his sons, who forgot their jealousies and feuds as they stood together at his bier. But how greatly men misjudge death. It is not the end, but the beginning. We find hereafter Isaac associated with Abraham and Jacob as welcoming the saints homeward. Death greatens good men. Yeah, nah. I don't know where that came from, and not nah. So I may not. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Okay, let's figure this out. Take that away. Okay, so let's begin. Genesis 36, 1. And this is the genealogy of Esau, who is Edom. Edom took wives from the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Oh, Aholiabama, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zib of the Hivite. Basmath, Ishmael's daughter, so Ishmael, Abraham's firstborn through Hagar, Basmath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebiah. And Ada bore Eliphaz to Esau, and Basmath bore Raul. And Aholiab bore Yush and Yilam and Korah. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the beings in his household and his herds and all of his beasts and all of his possessions, which he had gained in the land of Canaan, and went to a land away from the presence of his brother Jacob. For their possessions were too great for them to dwell together, and the land of just making sure that's on, and the land of their sojournings could not support them because of their herds. Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And this is the genealogy of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These were the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, son of Ada, wife of Esau, and Raul, son of Basmath, wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Sepho, Gatam, and Kenez. And Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. Ooh, Amalek. If this is the same King Amalek, which, no, long ways away. Jacob, his sons, no. So, all right. Then these were the sons of Raul: Nahath and Zara, Shammah and Mizah. These were the sons of Basmath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Oholibamah, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Siban, and she bore Esau, Yush, and Yalam, and Korah. And these were the chiefs of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the first son of Esau, were Chief Timon, Chief Omar, Chief Spho, Chief Kenez, Chief Korah, Chief Gatam, Chief Amalek. These were the chiefs of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. They were the sons of Ada. And these were the sons of Raul, Esau's son: Chief Nahath, Chief Zerah, Chief Shammah, Chief Mizah. And these were the chiefs of Raul in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Basmath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Oholibamah, Esau's wife: Chief Yush, Chief Yalam, Chief Korah. These were the chiefs descending from Oholibamah, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna. These were the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these were their chiefs. And these were the sons of Seir, the Horite, who inhabited the land: Lotan and Shobal and Tispan and Anna. And Dishon and Etzer and Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir, in the land of Edom. And the sons of Lotan were Hori and Hema, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. And these were the sons of Shobal: Alwa and Manath and Ibal, and Shebo and Onam. And these were the sons of Sivan, both Aya and Anna. This was the Anna who found the water in the wilderness as he fed the donkeys of his father Sivan. And these were the children of Anah, Dishon and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah. And these were the sons of Dishon, Hemdan and Eshban and Yathran and Keran. And these were the sons of Etzer, Bilhan, and Zaawan, and Akan. And these were the sons of Dishon, Utz, and Aran. Finally, some easy ones. These were the chiefs of the Horites, Chief Lotan, Chief Shobal, Chief Savan, Chief Anah, Chief Dishon, Chief Etzer, Chief Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites, according to their chiefs in the land of Seir. And these were the sovereigns who reigned in the land of Edom before any sovereign reigned over the children of Israel. And Bela, son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of the city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Yobab, son of Zerah of Batsra, reigned in his place. And Yobab died, and Husham of the land of the Tenemites reigned in his place. And Husham died, and Haddah, son of Bedad, who struck Midian in the field of Moab, Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his place, and the name of the city was Awith. And Hadad died, and Semlah of Masrech reigned in his place. I was like, is it done soon? Is it done? And Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his place. And Shaul died, and Baal Hanan, son of Akbor, reigned in his place. And Baal Hanan, son of Akbor, died, and Hadar reigned in his place. And the name of his city was Pau, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Metred, the daughter of Meazahab. And these were the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their clans of their place, by their names: Chief Timnah, Chief Awa, and Chief Yetheth. Chief Oholibamah, Chief Elah, Chief Pinion, Chief Kenez, Chief Temen, Chief Mibsar, Chief Magdal, Chief Aram. These were the chiefs of Edom, according to their dwelling place in the land of their possessions. Esau was the father of the Edomites. Okay, I know that there's a thing here somewhere. There we go. Next chapter. Yay! Okay, I figured one thing out. Learn technology with Lanita. Okay, Genesis 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land of his father's sojourning in the land of Canaan. This is the genealogy of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers, and the young man was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Yoseph brought an evil report of them to his father. I think it was in Jasher. It was one of the extra biblical books. Basically, they were like going up to Shechem and going and drinking and partying and having a good time. And Yoseph, the younger brother, went and told on them. And Israel loved Yoseph more than all of his children because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a long robe. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all of his brothers, they hated him and were not able to speak peaceably to him. And Yoseph dreamed a dream and told it to his brothers, so they hated him even more. And he said to them, "Please listen to this dream which I have dreamed. See, we were binding sheaves in the midst of the field, and see, my sheaf rose up and also stood up, and see, your sheaves stood all around and bowed down to my sheaf. And his brothers said to him, shall you indeed reign over us? Shall you indeed rule over us? So they hated him even more for his dream and for his words. And he dreamed still another dream and related it to his brothers and said, see, I have dreamed another dream. And see, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowed down to me. And he related it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall we, your mother and I, and your brothers indeed come and bow down to the earth before you? Somehow I was supposed to highlight, but I'll have to figure that out. And his brothers envied him, but his father guarded his words. And his brothers went to feed their flocks in Shechem. See, they were going to Shechem. And Yisrael said to Yoseph, are your brothers feeding their flocks in Shechem? Come, I send you to them. So he said to them, here I am. And he said to him, please go and see if all is well with your brothers and well with the sheep, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out to the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and see, he was wandering in the field, and a man asked him, saying, what do you seek? And he said, I am seeking my brothers. Please inform me where they are feeding their sheep. And the man said, they have left here, for I heard them say, let's go down towards Dothan. So Yoseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Maybe they were going to Dothan. One of the places, I think it was in Jasher, was saying that they were basically going to revel and, go have fun. They were taking the time away to have a good time. And they saw him from a distance, and before he came near them, they plotted against him to kill him. And they said to each other, see, this master of dreams is coming. Now then, come, let us kill him and throw him into some pit, and shall say some wild beast has devoured him. Let us then see what comes of his dreams. But Reuben heard and rescued him from their hands and said, let us not strike his being. And Reuben said to them, shed no blood. Throw him into the pit which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him in order, and this was in order to rescue him out of their hands and bring him back to his father. So it came to be when Yoseph had come to his brothers that they had stripped Yoseph of his robe, the long robe which was on him, and they took him and threw him into a pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat a meal, and they lifted their eyes and looked and saw a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels bearing spices and balm and myrrh, going to take them down to Mitzrayim, Egypt. And Yehudah said to his brothers, what would it gain if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, our flesh. And his brothers listened. And the men, Midianite traders. So it's interesting. First they're Ishmaelites, now they're Midianites. And I think it's once again in the book of Jasher where it talks, where it's actually two different bands of people traveling. But anyway, and the men, Midianite traders, passed by. So they pulled Yoseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites. And that's in Jasher. It's that the Midianites actually pulled him out and they sold him to the Ishmaelites. But anyway, for 20 pieces of silver, and they took Yoseph to Mitzrayim, down to Egypt. And Reuben returned to the pit, and see, Yoseph was not in the pit, and he tore his garments. And he returned to his brothers and said, the boy is gone, and where am I to go? So they took Joseph's robe and slew a male goat and dipped the robe in blood and sent the long robe and brought it to their father and said, we have found this. Please look. Is it the robe of your son or not? And he recognized it and said, it is my son's robe. An evil beast has devoured him. Yoseph is torn to pieces. And I think there was something in there about how the way they presented it was deceptive, in that they didn't want to out and out lie. So they presented it in a way that their father would make an assumption. And Jacob tore his garments and put sackcloth on his waist and mourned for his son for many days. And all of his sons and all of his daughters rose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, now let me go down to Sheol to my son in mourning. So his father wept for him. Footnote, see explanatory notes on Sheol. And that's what, I don't know how to find the notes, darn it. Yeah, I need to figure out how to use this here. But anyway, because I really would like to, wait a minute here. Sheol, something opened up here. Paste into topic notes. Oh, right. Oh well. And so, and the Midianites had sold him in Mitzrayim to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and a captain of the guard. And at the time it came to be that Yehudah left his brothers and turned aside to a man, an Adulamite, whose name was Harah. And Yehudah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua, and he took her and went into her. So she conceived and bore a son, and he called him And she conceived again and bore a son, and she called him Onan. And she conceived yet again and bore a son and called him Shelah. And he was at Kezib when she bore him. And Yehudah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. I love this story. But Yehudah's firstborn, was evil in the eyes of Yah, and Yah took his life. And Yehudah said to Onan, go into your brother's wife and marry her and raise up an heir to your brother. And Onan knew that the offspring would not be his, and it came to be when he went into his brother's wife that he spilled on the ground, lest he should give an offspring to his brother. But what he did displeased Yah, so he took his life too. Then Yehudah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in your father's house until my son Shelah is grown. For he said, lest he also die as his brothers did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's home. Back in those days, women had to have men take care of them. And, either their fathers or they got married, and then it would be their husbands. And because her husband, and the tradition was that the brother would go in and they would have a child, and that would carry on his brother's name and legacy. And that was the custom. And so then Yehudah, so she went, but because Shelah was too young, he sent her back to her father's home for her father to care for her until Shelah grew up. And after a long time, the daughter of Shua, Yehudah's wife, died. And Yehudah was comforted and went up to his sheep shearers in Timnah, he and his friend Herah, the Adulamite. And it was reported to Tamar, saying, see, your father is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. And she took off her widow's garments and covered herself with a veil and wrapped herself and sat at the entrance of Enayim, which was on the way to Timnah, for she saw that Shelah was grown, and she had not been given to him as a wife. And Yehudah saw her and reckoned her for a whore, for she had covered her face. Now, I find it really interesting here that his wife died, and, he's going here to be comforted. And where is it here? And after a long time, his Yehudah's wife died, and Yehudah was comforted and went up to his sheep shears in Timnah. Anyway, and then he goes and gets a prostitute. And he turned aside to her by the way and said, please let me come into you, for he did not know that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, what do you give me to come into me? And he said, let me send you a young goat from the flock. And she said, do you give me a pledge until you send it? So he said, what pledge should I give you? And she said, your seal and your cord and your staff that is in your hand. And he gave them to her and went into her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away and removed her veil and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Yehudah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he did not find her. And he asked the men of the place, saying, "Where's the cult prostitute who was beside the way to Edom?" And they said, "There is no cult prostitute in this place." And he returned to Yehudah and said, "I have not found her." And the men of this place also said there was no cult prostitute in this place. And Yehudah said, "Let her take them for herself, lest we become despised. For I sent this young goat, and you have not found her." And it came to be that about 3 new moons, 3 months, when Yehudah was informed, saying, "Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has whored, and see, has conceived by whoring." And Yehudah said, "Bring her out and let her be burned." A priest's daughter, if found in adultery, is to be burned. And so, yes, and if we go back to when he found, and Yehudah saw, and she conceived and bore a son, blah, da, da, and Yehudah, okay, so, and Yehudah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. And she actually, her father was a priest, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's why he called her out to be burned, because and I thought it was interesting, she goes back to her father's house, and then all of a sudden she starts showing that she's pregnant. What must her father have felt or thought, and maybe he's the one that sent a message to Yehudah saying, "Hey." So, okay. And it came to be about 3 new moons after, so 3 months after, that Yehudah was informed, saying, "Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has whored, and see, she's conceived by whoring." And Yehudah said, "Bring her out and let her be burned." And when she was brought out, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, "By the man whom these belong, I am pregnant." And she said, "Please examine whose these are." So very similar to what the brothers did with their father. "Hey, examine this coat and come up with your own assumptions." She's doing the same thing. "Please examine whose these are, the seal and the cord and the staff." And Yehudah examined and said, "She has been more righteous than I, because I did not give her to Shalach my son." And he never knew her again, meaning he had to care for her. He, got her pregnant, but he never, ever had intercourse with her again. And it came to be at the time for giving birth that, twins were in her womb. And it came to be when she was giving birth that one put out its hand, and the midwife took a scarlet thread, interesting scarlet thread, and put it on his hand, saying, "This one came out first." And it came to be that he drew back his hand, and his brother came out. And she said, "How did you break through? This breach is upon you." So his name was called Peretz. And afterwards, his brother came out, who had the scarlet thread on his hand. So she called him Zerah. 39. And Yoseph had been taken down to Mitzrayim, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, brought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him down there. And it came to be that Yah was with Yoseph, and he became a prosperous man. It was in the house of his master, the Mitzrayim, the Egyptian. And his master saw that Yah's hand was with him, and that Yah made all that he did prosper in his hand. So Yoseph found favor in his sight and served him, and he appointed him over his house and gave into his hand all that he had. And it came to be from the time that he appointed him over his house and all that he had, that Yah blessed the Mitzrayim's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of Yah was on all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left in Joseph's hand all that he had, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. And Yoseph was handsome in form and handsome in appearance. And after these events, it came to be that the master's wife lifted up her eyes to Yoseph and said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Look, my master does not know what is with me in the house, and he has given into my hand all that he has. No one is greater in the house than I, and he has not withheld whatever from me but you, because you are his wife. And how shall I do this great evil and sin against Elohim?" And it came to be that as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he did not listen to her, to lie with her, to be with her. And it came to be that on a certain day when Joseph went into the house to do his work, and none of the men were at the house. And Jasher, they were at some sort of celebration. And she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran. And it came to be that when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and fled outside, that she called to the men of the house and spoke to them, saying, See, he has brought in to us a Hebrew to mock us. He came to me to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. And it came to be when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and went outside. And she kept his garment with her until his master came home. And she spoke to him these words, saying, "The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came into me to mock me." So it came to be, as I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled outside. And it came to be when his master heard the words which his wife had spoke to him, saying, "Your servant did to me according to these words," that his displeasure burned. Then Joseph's master took him and put him into prison, a place where the sovereign's prisoners were confined, and he was there in prison. But Yah was with Yosef and extended loving commitment to him, and he gave him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. And the prison warden gave into the hand of Yosef all the prisoners who were in the prison, and whatever was done there was his doing. The prison warden did not look into any point that was under Joseph's hand, because Yah was with him, and whatever he did, Yah made it to prosper. Genesis 40. And these are the events. It came to be that the cupbearer and the baker of the sovereign, the king of Mitzrayim, the king of Egypt, sinned against their master, the sovereign of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh was wroth with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and chief baker. So he put them in confinement in the house of the captain of the guard in the prison, the place where Yosef was a prisoner. And the captain of the guard put Yosef in charge of them, and he served them. So they were in confinement for some time. Then the cupbearer and the baker of the sovereigns of Mitzrayim, who were confined in the prison, dreamed a dream, both of them, each man's dream in one night, and each man's dream with its own interpretation. And Yosef came in to them in the morning and looked at them and saw that they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officer who were with him in confinement of his master's house, saying, "Why do you look so sad today?" And they said to him, "We each have dreamed a dream, and there's no one to interpret it." And Yosef said to them, "Do not interpretations belong to Elohim? Relate them to me, please." I lost my place. There we go. So the chief cupbearer related his dream to Yosef and said to him, "See, in my dream, the vine was before me. And in the vine were 3 branches, and it was though it budded. Its blossoms shot forth, and its clusters brought forth grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, so I took the grapes and I pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. And Yoseph said to him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days, a Pharaoh is going to lift up your head and restore you and your place, and you shall put Pharaoh's cup in his hand, according to the former ruling when you were his cupbearer. But remember me when all is well with you, and please show loving commitment to me, and mention me to Pharaoh to get out of this house. For truly I was stolen away from the land of the Hebrews, and also I have done naught that they should put me into this dungeon. And the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, and he said to Yoseph, I also was in my dream and saw 3 white baskets were on my head. And in the uppermost basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head. And Yoseph answered and said to him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days, Pharaoh is going to lift off your head from you and hang you on a tree, and the birds shall eat your flesh from you. And on the 3rd day, Pharaoh's birthday, it came to be that he made a feast for all of his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief cupbearer to his post of cupbearer again, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker as Yoseph had interpreted, and the chief cupbearer did not remember Yoseph, but forgot him. So that is it for today. Let's see here. Figure out how not to share. I don't know what I'm doing. 1 participant can share at a time. There we go. That's the whole thing. That's that. Oh, well. I wanted to stop sharing, but I don't know how. So anyway, thank you for joining me. And let me know if you have any comments or questions. Put them down in. Do the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, and Yah willing, next Monday I will be here reading my Torah portions, and next Friday I'll be here reading 41 through 45. And that's my plan. And if the Father wills it, then it'll be so. Father God, thank you. Bless everyone who hears this. Let them have a fabulous Sabbath, and help us to bless you and honor you and lift you up among all people. In Yahushua's name, amen. Be blessed. Bye. Oh, there we go. Stop sharing. Hey, that's how it works. Huh. Okay, and now end. Bye.